welcome to another episode of Jube's 2011 Audiobooks and Music. Thank you for listening. Hello, welcome to another episode of Jube's 2011 Audiobooks and Music. What a day. It's been such a nice day today. To play some more of The Forbidden Child.
Sit Down.
Chapter 2 called Sit Down. And Chapter 3, Time with Luna. Chapter 4, Digging Down. Chapter 5, No Time to Panic. Chapter 6, Accepting Each Other. And Chapter 7, Luna's Missing. Alright, here goes.
Mason sighs.
Jay, what are we going to do? Alpha will kill us when he finds out.
Mason, we can't hide it. It will come out sooner or later. You know I can't live without her, and neither can you.
But you know who she is. I may be Alpha's beta now, but my father told me the truth on his deathbed when he knew I would become the new beta.
Mason continues down the hall to the stairs.
He's not going to be pleased. We will cross that road later. Do you think Skylar has met her wolf yet?
Jay wondered out loud. Mason shrugged his shoulders as he took the stairs two at a time. Becky, his sister, smiled. Good morning, James. Are you hungry?
Rebecca Marie Mason. Do not call me by my given name. You know it's disrespectful.
Mason growled as he pecked her on the forehead.
Yes, I am starved. I would like some coffee as well, please, Beck.
James Edgar Mason, if you ever call me by my full name in my kitchen ever again, you will starve. Do you understand? Becky snarled back as she fixed him a plate and a cup of coffee.
Becky, my beloved, darling sister, I love you.
Drawing out love as far as he could. Becky rolls her eyes, handing him the plate and coffee. Shoo, get out of here. By the way, Alpha was looking for you. He's in the dining room.
Did he seem to be in a good mood?
Mason asked as he turned to leave. Becky let out a harsh laugh. I guess so. Walking across the hall from the kitchen, Mason entered the dining room to find the Alpha eating alone.
Good morning, Alpha.
Jackson glanced up at him before continuing to eat.
Mason, good morning. I wanted to thank you for doing the errands in town for Sarah yesterday.
Luna and you can always count on me. Is everything all right, Alpha?
Mason noticed that Alpha was distracted, but wasn't sure what was bothering him.
Not really. You know that Sarah insists on having coming-of-age party for Skylar. I do not want to have it because...
Jackson took a deep breath.
Well, you know we haven't always treated her well. Anyway, when you finish breakfast, let's continue this conversation in my office.
Jackson gets up and leaves Mason all alone with his thoughts. Mason eats in a rush because whatever is on Alpha's mind is weighing on his heart as well. He leaves his plate, knowing that Jerica will be along soon to clean the dining room. She and Skylar usually did all the cleaning together, but this morning, Skylar was in for a huge surprise. Mason slowly walks towards Alpha's office on the other end of the bottom floor. He isn't sure what all the Alpha is going to tell him, but it seems that the Alpha's actual age is shining through this morning. Knocking on the door, Mason waits to enter.
Enter, Beta.
Mason hears the strain in the Alpha's voice when he responds. Bowing his head, Mason says,
How can I help you, Alpha?
Have a seat, son.
Jackson motions to the chair in front of his massive oak desk. Mason walks forward and sits. He waits, knowing that there is nothing left for him to say until Alpha talks to him. Jackson took a deep breath.
Eric and Lisa are coming today. Mason, I haven't seen them in almost 18 years. We both know why they are coming. I'm feeling guilty and nervous. How do I talk to them? How do I explain what happened?
Alpha Jackson, maybe just wait. They may not ask. Everything may turn out just fine. See what they say before you open up.
Mason knew that no matter what he said, Alpha was going to worry and stress over Alpha Eric and Luna Lisa coming for a visit.
What do I need to do to help you prepare for them?
I am not sure. I think Sarah has everything under control. She told me last night that she was scared of what might happen. She has been crying herself to sleep for weeks now. I try to inform her that everything will work out. Sarah just wants to go back and change everything. She wishes things could be different.
Moaning, Jackson continues.
And so do I.
Mason nods, knowing that there is nothing that can change the past. They can only pray to the moon goddess that everything will work out.
When is the last time you talked to Alpha Eric?
Besides, a week ago, we talk about once a month. He wants to know everything that's going on and how we are handling things. Sarah usually finds a way for the conversation to be cut short. He has tried to even call in the middle of the night while she's asleep, and she finds a way even then.
Mason nods in understanding.
It can't be easy. Dad told me everything that he knew about the situation before he passed. Is there anything else that I need to know?
Jackson shook his head, looks up, and says,
Why is Skylar in your room?
It is a long story. I found Skylar face down in the ice-cold river. I rescued her and took her to my room for her to warm up.
Mason spoke with a shaky voice, Jackson's eyes wide with fear.
What the hell was she doing in the river?
I don't know. After I fished her out, she felt strangely warm. I figure it was because she had a fever, so I mind-linked Jessie. Jessie came and checked on Skylar and told me that she seemed perfectly healthy, just weak. She wasn't sure if it was because of the cold water or the beating that it looked like Skylar had received.
Beating? You better find out how this happened.
Jackson spoke with his alpha voice. Mason bowed his head from the authority that rang out.
Yes, Alpha.
Mason turned to go, but Alpha cleared his throat, and Mason found himself turning slowly to face Alpha.
What happened after Jessie left?
Jackson questioned Mason with a strained tone.
Nothing happened.
Mason groans. Alpha Jackson speaks again.
Then why is she in your room? You should have taken her to the Pack Hospital.
Mason lowers his head. Jay whined out. Now was not the best time, to be honest, about Skylar being his mate. Mason rushed his thoughts to come up with an explanation that Alpha would buy.
Finding her unconscious in the river made me panic, and I knew that you would want her safe. I knew she needed to be in the pack house because of the party today, and I couldn't remember which rooms had guests, so I took her to my room. While Jessie checked her over, I stepped out of the room. When I returned, Jessie had dressed Skylar in one of my t-shirts, and I lay on the couch, trying to figure out who would even hurt her.
Panting from his rushed words, Mason finally looked up at Alpha. Finding it hard to breathe at this point, Jackson growled out.
Find the answers, and find them now.
Mason didn't hesitate, and he left Alpha alone. He knew that he couldn't face him again without an update. Time with Luna. A knock broke the silence, making Skylar jump. She stands and walks to the door. Slowly, Skylar pulls the door open. Luna? Skylar bows her head, and she steps back for Luna Sarah to enter the room. Luna smiles softly at Skylar. Good morning. How are you feeling today? Good morning. I am not sure. I am confused, and I don't understand what is going on. Skylar's nerves about the turn of events had her blurting out. Chuckling, Luna said, Please calm down. I want today to be special for you. I know that I haven't always shown you the love that I should have. Please, will you forgive me? I asked Jerica to bring us some tea to help calm your nerves. I hope that is okay. Skylar was shocked. What Luna had told her rocked her to her core. How was she going to forgive her? Luna treated her worse than she ever treated any of the other servants. Skylar had to do things that were unnecessary and not assigned to any other servant. Yes, Luna, I can find it in my heart to forgive you. Tea would be nice. But I have a question. Why am I so dressed up? Skylar was hopeful but cautious. She still didn't trust the Luna and didn't know what kind of games she was playing. How could she not be careful? Thinking back to a time before Luna Sarah came to live with them, Skylar had been close to Alpha Jackson. She doesn't have much of a memory of that time, though. Skylar remembers him having tea with her in the garden. She had dressed up in a little pink dress. Nothing too fancy, but that dress had brought her such happiness. Laughing, Skylar poured Alpha Jackson some tea. Beth had cleaned her tea set because usually Jerica and Skylar used it to play in the mud next to the lake. Skylar had enjoyed cookies with Alpha Jackson. They were their favorite. Chocolate chip and peanut butter. Beth only made those cookies for the two of them. Then Skylar turned on her little radio, and they danced for a while. Then, all of a sudden, Alpha Jackson was distracted, and he stopped dancing mid-step. He walked away from Skylar, leaving her all alone in the garden. Uncle Jake! Uncle Jake! Skylar called out through her tears, but he seemed lost in thought. Beth had come and cleaned up the tea set and cookies. Skylar was escorted to her room and told to stay put for the rest of the day. Usually, Alpha Jackson took care of her, but on that terrible day, it had been Beth that helped her get ready for bed and tucked her in. Their lives had changed forever. Skylar had been moved to the basement, or the dungeon as she liked to call it, the very next morning. Skylar, honey, are you listening to me? Luna was saying. Skylar shook her head, bringing her back to the present. Skylar blushed as she looked over at Luna. I'm sorry, I was distracted by an old memory, Skylar admitted shyly. Luna smiled kindly. Do you want to talk about it? Skylar shook her head. It was the day Luna Sarah had arrived, and her life was changed forever. I was telling you there is going to be a coming-of-age party tonight. Single members of packs all over will be coming to meet you. Looking pleased with herself, Luna explained. Why only single members? Skylar wondered out loud. Luna gave her a soft smile, but Skylar saw the pure evilness behind it. There will be single members to see if they can find their mates at your party. We will be celebrating you. But it gives them a chance to travel when they normally wouldn't be able to. Nodding, Skylar turned and walked to the window. She noticed that the guard was searching for something, but she didn't want to bring it up with Luna. Something was wrong. Very wrong. She closed her eyes. Sky, something is off with the Luna. Why have I never noticed it before? Skylar asked her wolf. Sky just growled. Pretend to be lost in thought. I am going to see if I can reach her, wolf. Feeling Luna walk closer to her, Skylar turned and smiled sweetly at her. It is all just a lot to take in. Since I am a human, why are all these single wolves coming to my party? Seeming pleased with what Skylar had said, Luna turned and walked over to the couch to sit down before answering Skylar's question. Luna smiled softly, but with the same evil demure as before. Sweet Skylar. We must keep up pretenses as a pack. Every member gets a party when they turn 18, even the lowly servants. Skylar, came the panicked voice of her wolf. Act calm, but you need to get someone in here now. The supposed Luna does not have a wolf that I can connect with. Luna, if you will excuse me for a moment, I need to use the restroom. Skylar bowed her head slightly before turning and walking into the bathroom. Luna cleared her throat then. Yes, of course, sweetie. Digging down. Mason's mind is racing because he knows that someone in the pack wants to cause Skylar harm. Not everyone knows the truth. There is a law that everyone must receive respect. But whoever beat Skylar and threw her in the river broke that law. That person will face the Werewolf Council.
I wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
Mason thinks to himself. Jay laughs dryly.
If they make it to the council at all, Mason, I may just kill them myself.
Mason chuckles.
I understand, but if we cause them harm, we won't be able to spend our lives with Skylar.
Growling, Jay goes into his corner of Mason's mind. Mason continues down to the basement to see if he can find any clues. Davidson, the head guard, is pacing back and forth in the hallway. Mason walks up to him.
Davidson!
Davidson looks up like a deer caught in headlights.
Beta?
He bows slightly at Mason, which is unusual behavior for the guard.
What is on your mind?
Cautiously, Mason questions him. Davidson shakes his head and moves to the bench outside the servants' quarters hallway.
When I arrived from home this morning to wake the servants, Edwards wasn't on guard. I can't find him anywhere, and someone else is missing as well. I know that I will have to take responsibility for them both missing.
Davidson drops his head into his hands.
Who else is missing, Davidson?
Mason said, using his beta voice. Davidson began to sob.
Skylar, Mason! Our Alpha will kill me when he finds out that I wasn't able to protect her.
Mason cringed at Davidson's words. He knew that Alpha Jackson already knew what was going on, but Mason was going to do some investigating of his own.
Why are you not out searching for them?
Mason's anger seeped through with his words.
Mason, I have every available warrior and guard out searching. I came back here to search their rooms to see if I could find anything. I had just walked back here when I heard someone behind me and turned around to find you.
Davidson took a deep breath and continued.
After searching their rooms, I was going to inform Alpha.
Mason mind-linked Alpha.
Davidson has informed me that Edwards is missing. I am going to search through Edwards' room. I didn't tell him that Skylar was safe. I am sending him to come and talk to you.
Alpha growled at the news.
Mason, find him. I'm going to keep Davidson in the dark as well. Since only Sarah and Jerica know that Skylar is in your room, there's no need to inform anyone else yet.
Yes, Alpha.
Mason mind-linked back. Davidson stood and waited while Beta was talking to Alpha.
Davidson, go see Alpha and tell him everything you know so far. I'm going to search both Edwards and Skylar's rooms. I will inform you of anything that I find.
What does Alpha know?
Davidson asked in a shaky voice. Mason didn't want to tell Davidson anything, but knew that he had to tell him something.
Alpha knows you are coming to talk to him. There are a couple of pack members missing. I told him that Edwards is missing, but will let you inform him of Skylar.
Mason could see the hurt and fear in Davidson's face, but knew that the old wolf knew how to stand his ground and protect himself when he needed to.
Thank you for your help. I am glad that you are as good a beta as your father.
Mason nodded and turned to walk down the hall leading to the guards' rooms. He was going to search Edward's room first. Mason knew that Skylar was safe because he had pulled her from the river. Edwards had never liked Skylar, and he didn't know the whole truth about her. Mason had caught him making fun of her a few times, but even Mason couldn't predict that Edwards would do something like this. Mason tried to clear his mind as he entered Edward's room. The closet was ajar and appeared to be empty. Mason walked further into the room. The mattress was off the bed halfway. Somehow it was made up, and that was confusing. Mason pulled back the covers to reveal blood all over the mattress. He thought he smelled blood, but someone went to great lengths to try and cover the smell.
I need you to come down to Edward's room. Please bring a sampling kit.
Mason mind-linked the PAC's head lab tech and investigator. Yes, Beta, came the reply. Dawn wasn't one to ever question orders. Mason continued to look around Edward's room, going to his closet and pulling the door the rest of the way open. Mason was shocked at what he saw. Blood. The blood inside the closet was a mixture of new and old blood. Something was definitely off. Stepping out of the room, Mason slid down the wall and placed his head in his hands, remembering the time that he and Edwards had chased the girls to the river but stopped, afraid it would be too cold, or they couldn't swim.
James, why are you always chasing after us?
Skylar's tiny voice asked him. He smiled at the 5-year-old little redhead girl in front of him. Even at the age of 7, Mason had felt a connection with Skylar.
Because you shouldn't be listening in on our conversations. Isn't that right, Mike?
Edwards had just nodded his head. He wasn't much of a talker. Mason shook his head to bring himself back to the present. He had more questions than ever now. No time.
Well, I'm gonna play the rest of the chapters later. The chapter... Let's see. Chapter 6, which is No Time to Panic. Chapter 7, Accepting Each Other. And Chapter 8, Luna's Missing. Plus maybe some more chapters. But until then, this is all I'm going to play. Thank you for listening. Alright, now that I'm done playing chapters 2 through 4 of The Forbidden Child, I am now going to play some music. This is God Speaking by Mandasa.
Experian Boost is easy, it's fast, and it's free. Bueno, bonito, y barato.
Using Experian Boost, I raised my FICO score by 9 points. Qué buena onda. I boosted my FICO score 19 points. Isn't that awesome?
Using Experian.
That was Fullbriger's That Funny Feeling. Alright, next
Moderate to severe eczema. He doesn't care.
is
A day off. Or
Stone Cold by Demi Lovato. Alright, that was Stone Cold by Demi Lovato. Next is All I Want Is You by Ice-T.
special reports.
Spectrum just launched Spectrum One, where Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited mobile.
I mean, Nana, be cool.
She knocking on my door like, said she want another try. Say you wanna get it right. Knocking on my door like, all I want is you. see. She with another nigga and it ain't me. In the same sheet. I was laying over for a week. Shorty got me sweet. Living up the deep end. I have to go and get even. Playing the defense. My weakness. I'm sitting here, but I should be leaving. You know you got this. I can't break it. Oh, I try. It's time to let you know. All I want is you. All I want is you. Baby, all I want is you.
To be right back when I was asleep, I just believe it. Doesn't take a word. Loving on we is that can only be.
All I want is you. All I want is you. All I want is you.
Tis the season for non-drowsy symptom relief from over 200 indoor and outdoor allergens. Day after
I just want your touch, yeah. Let me hit it, girl, when you, yeah. I might tease you, you'll call me up when you need it, yeah. Don't move it, yeah. I just got the pin that you see the spot, yeah. Let's get together for a lifetime, you know, right now, what you need, yeah. Dope boy, do drugs when you everything that you need. Say I ain't tryna get back together till I get myself back together. Don't need rush, just take time. I'll be indecisive, I know, but I make time. On water at night with the lake shine. Heard to the smells that your face fine. But I heard, but it's cool, take mine. You can be the 6'7" girl, you take times out of 10. Fucking, I can be you, but I feel like you love it. Let me touch it. Oh, I made it smile. No, I'm fake now. I'm only fuck. You said don't act fake now. You know, cool, shake now. Two pretty matches for the takedown. Oh, yeah. Now the kings is like, let me get your mood. Yeah. I'm gonna show you how to move right. Move right. Start looking for each other. Bitches for each other. Oh, yeah. Nobody will say I'm working you. It out for me, like, my name John's on. No rush, I just want your touch. Let me hit it. Girl, when you I might tease you. You gon' come me up. yeah. I just got the picture that you see in the spot. Oh, yeah. Hey, let's be together for a lifetime. You know, I was me. Hey, no boy, do drugs. Everything you need. Say you ain't tryna get back together till I get myself back together. Don't rush, just take time. I'll be indecisive, I know, but I'll make time.
I am a credit baby. Being so young es tan importante tener crédito. At Experian, you get your FICO score for free. Who doesn't like free? I'm so excited. Everybody should be aware of their FICO score, and with Experian, it is free, so why not take advantage of that? Using Experian me da más control over my finances. Free, quick, and easy.
El proceso fue muy fácil.
¡Qué buena onda! Thanks, Experian. Get your FICO score for free and check out the other free tools at Experian. Go to experian.com/gratis. When summer gets blue, her eyes.
All right. Thanks for listening.
If you seek wisdom, my child, with all your heart you'll find a treasure more precious than gold, a path that will never grow. Wisdom's way the best, a guide to eternal rest. It leads to life, it's pure and true. You a gift from God for me and you. If you incline your ear to listen, you will wise counsel you'll resist sin. For wisdom is a fountain of life, a shield from danger and strife. Wisdom's way the best, a guide to eternal rest. It leads to life, it's pure and true, a gift from God for me and you. Let's seek wisdom with all our might and walk in this radiant light, for it's a crown of glory and grace, halfway to a blessed place. Wisdom's way is the best, a guide to eternal rest. It leads to life, it's pure and true, a gift from God for me and you. True love is when a man and woman truly mean what they say. When their wedding vows are said, it's like a heavenly flock of doves flying over you on a lovely day. At the park with your loved one at your side. True love never dies, even if your loved one is dead. True love is when you tell someone you love them and mean it forever and eternity, until death do you part, in sickness and in health. True love is when a man and a woman truly mean what they say. When their wedding vows are said, it's like a heavenly flock of doves flying over you on a lovely day. At the park with your loved one at your side. True love never dies, even if your loved one is dead. True love is when you tell someone you love them and mean it forever and eternity, until death do you part, in sickness and in health. True love is when a man and a woman truly mean what they say. When their wedding vows are said, it's like a heavenly flock of doves flying over you on a lovely day. At the park with your loved one at your side. True love never dies, even if your loved one is dead. True love is when you tell someone you love them and mean it forever and eternity, until death do you part, in sickness and in health. In the corner the tree stands tall, with memories wrapped in light oh so small. We gather round, a twinkle in the air, as laughter dances with joy everywhere. Tinsel glimmers like your stars up high. Our hearts glow warm as the night drifts by. Deck the halls with dreams and cheer, tangled with lights and those we hold dear. With each ornament that pastel lines in this season of love arts entwine. Old ornaments tell tales of yore. Each little bowl was a story to bore. Hands intertwined in a loving embrace, decorating our lives in this festive space. With every ribbon my spirits lift, these moments share the greatest gift. Deck the halls with dreams and cheer, tangled lights and those we hold dear. With each ornament the pastel lines in the season of love arts entwine. So here's to the memories bright and free, as we gather round the Christmas tree.